Last but not least, I would like to welcome Mr. Erik Bánki, Chair of the Economic Committee of the Hungarian National Assembly, on the stage. And Mr. Bánki will make a presentation about digitalization and the lessons learned from the COVID-19, a very actual and very important topic. Chairman, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Chair, Madam Minister, Madam Commissioner, Madam State Secretary, thank you very much. First of all, please, I would like to apologize for my voice. It's not only the Euro 2020 that is an important threat to my vocal cords, but it's also an allergy that I have. Indeed, the crises of the past decade, and of course the COVID-19 pandemic and the coming out of that and recovering the economy is putting such a challenge to not only to us, but every European member state, which is, I think, a key issue for the future. Because if you are fast enough, if you react fast enough, if you can seize the opportunity offered among others by digitalization, and if you can really introduce programs to basically not only allow the economy and the jobs to return fast, but also allows for significant additional surplus revenue for the national budget. Well, all these could be winners of this competition. And I'm very happy that there is a separate conference dealing with issues that have to do with the actors in the economy as well as private citizens. And I fully and completely agree with Commissioner Maria Gabriel that indeed small and medium enterprises and startups are going to be getting a key role in the next coming period, especially as it is in the European Union countries. We have the same amount of SMEs employing others in Hungary as well. In Hungary, SMEs actually provide for 75% of all jobs. This is why it's so important that we should be able to fortify them, and that this should not only be at the business side, but the private side as well. Hungary has been consulting with Hungarian citizens for a long time now, successfully. National consultation, this is the name of the game. And since 2010, when it comes to any important topics that have a bearing on the society, the Hungarian government requests the opinion of the people. And I should say that this is an extremely successful process, because there have been national consultations where we actually had more than 2 million Hungarian citizens articulating their opinion in a written form, in digital form, or even personally at different fora. The Conference on the Future of Europe can only be successful if it has strong enough parliamentary pillars, because national parliaments and involvement thereof in the whole process cannot, the success of the conference is not possible without involving parliaments. And I can safely say that we do not only want to play the role of extras in this whole game. We are hopeful that after the constituting meeting on the 19th of June, which is going to have a key role in compliance with digital challenges and digital transition, that we will be able to provide tangible responses to questions that have been raised. The objective of the European Union to make the European Union a leader in digitalization globally, well, I believe this is an extremely important pillar. For years, we've been seeing how the role of the Europe is continuously declining with respect to the share in the global economy. China and Asia are emerging with unprecedented speed, and the only way we can actually reclaim our positions if now post-COVID, and of course now most efficiently using digital opportunities, we are able to reverse this trend, and we can make the declining share of Europe go on the increase again. The 2030 goals of the EU also includes digital capacities and digital infrastructure, and also the further digitalization of businesses and public administration. Hungary is also paying significant attention to this issue. I am convinced that the success of the European economy, and I've already said this, the strengthening, the way to strengthening our competitiveness lies in relaunching the economy and also through suitable regulations. We need to provide clear guarantees and safeguards into the system so that data market should operate alongside very clearly defined rules. Artificial intelligence, an extremely important area. We support the reliable, human-focused and risk-based European approach to AI. It is important to mention that digitalization not only carries huge opportunities, but also huge threats. Therefore, it's important to support the cyber protection capacities of the European Union. With respect to the COVID-19, well, we have seen an increase of e-commerce and also an increase in the speed of the digital transformation. Parallel to the restrictions, some of the businesses and some of the customers and consumers strongly shifted to these sectors. They're buying more and more services online. The share of e-commerce from 14% in 2019 went to 17% by 2020. Consumers and service providers that were able to adapt to digitalizations contributed significantly to the recovery from the crisis. Strengthening of e-commerce is going to be important in the future phase of recovery, and the increased speed of digital transformation will have a huge impact on the European economy. The key issue here is how we can actually shape our competitiveness, how we can strengthen it. Just as the Commissioner has said, with startups, there is so much knowledge and research data available for use by government and by public authorities as well, which can also significantly increase to an improvement of the economy. However, there are certain elements, certain actors of the market and also in the society who are unfortunately losers, who have lost in this transition. We cannot we cannot make a secret of the fact that as a result of e-commerce, there are people who have lost because the digital divide has significantly increased in the recent times, for which reason we need to provide substantial funds to ensure that through education, training, and through improving digital access to digital services, we can also include segments of the society, and we can also bring in businesses who have so far been falling behind in this process, either through not through their own fault or because they didn't have proper access. During the recovery and relaunch of the European economy, we will also have to pay attention to making the European economy more resilient. The COVID crisis has shown how much we are exposed to external factors. This is why the Hungarian government, and I believe this is definitely the right path for the European Union, we strive to be self-efficient, self-sustaining in as many areas as possible. We are transforming our economy, the health system, the different industrial manufacturing capabilities, and all. We're working there to ensure that we have the infrastructure, that we have the health equipment, devices available for us, even if there is a clog or a disruption in supply routes. As a result of the crisis, the corona crisis, national parliaments have also had to battle new challenges. Application of modern technology, modern capacities, and the development of modern digital capabilities. There's more and more issue raised of the direct involvement of the people, the widening of democracy. This is something that the Hungarian government has, during the course of recent years, been regularly practicing. This actually allows us to obtain such extra information, such surplus information, and to strengthen democracy by actually involving strata of the society in the preparations before decision, which actually is an important step for the government and for society. With respect to representative democracy, it has to be said that the Hungarian parliament continued to be in session continuously during the crisis. We had 102 plenary settings, 435 committee meetings, and 1,053 votes were held. And we needed to do this, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because although there would have been a possibility to actually continue to work electronically, but actually the Hungarian fundamental law specifically stipulates personal presence for all votes. This is why we had to continue face-to-face meetings. And I can say that I am proud of each and every fellow member of parliament, because we've been able to continuously provide quorum during our sessions of the parliament. In the parliament, the digitalization of the parliamentary work already started in 2014, and since the spring of 2017, we have the Parlex system, which is basically a system that allows the management of the entire process of legislation from drafting to digitally submitting them. As much as we know, a system of comparable complexity does not exist in any other parliament of the world. And perhaps this is why Parlex actually was awarded the certificate for best practices in 2019 by the European Research Institute. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, coronavirus also had to bring in new efforts in interparliamentary work. May 10th, online Parliamentary Conference of Parliament Speakers of the European Union, which was attended by Laszlo Kövér, they adopted recommendations for the technological development of interparliamentary work. The speakers urged the parliaments to work on the basis of IT cooperation and mutual assistance in order to facilitate interparliamentary video conferences, to make these tools that are more predictable, more suitable, while also strengthening the digital sovereignty, flexibility of the European Union, and reliance on EU data protection rules. During the course of adaptation to this situation, we have seen a substantial increase of online interparliamentary sessions. However much it made our life easier, online conferencing, it will never replace the personal rapport, the personal meeting, discussion, cooperation that we saw in former times. That is why I'm very much looking forward to this life returning. Nobody can really replace the face-to-face meeting. Elected representatives need to meet face-to-face with their constituents and with their fellow MPs that can help to cooperation that will improve the competitiveness of the European Union, the success of legislation, and improved conditions, not only in Hungary, but in all other member states of the European Union. And I'm very hopeful that this conference itself will also contribute to making sure that in this transitory period and in the life after, that is going to be completely different from the pre-COVID period, has speeded up all the different processes through which digitalization allows for a quantum leap, not only in interparliamentary relations, in legislation, but also in developing and modernizing the economy. And I hope that we'll be able to exploit these successfully. I believe in the future of a successful Europe. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Chairman Bánki. And I think it was very important that you mentioned that although we work in different institutions, let it be a national parliament, European Parliament, Council, Commission, or government, it should be our common aim to achieve that Europe becomes a global leader in the field of digitalization. So thank you for stressing this.